Hello everybody and welcome back to Grand Bazaar. We are ready to go to our first summer bazaar today, and it's going to be probably our least successful one yet, just because we didn't have a ton of time to prepare some crops and to fully prepare ourselves for the start of summer because we were dropped into the season right in the middle of the week. I do have a few things to sell though. All of the radishes that I planted have come in, which is excellent news. I did give this little piece of advice when we started the summer season. If you're able to get these planted on the very first day, water them twice a day, every single day, then these will be ready for your first bazaar day. But if you weren't able to get radishes ready and prepared and all you have are just miscellaneous items to sell, then don't sweat. This bazaar, I think, is gonna be a challenge for a lot of people, and you don't really have a lot of options. So, fortunately for us, this is going to be a bazaar day where we're not really going to be focused on buying anything. We're just gonna go in there, do our best, and save our money. We'll just keep it in our pocket and gear up to have more successful bazaar days in the future. So in preparation, I already prepared my inventory last night. I've got everything that I want to sell on me. And it's a good opportunity for me as well because yes, I have radishes which will give me some extra income, but it's also a good chance for me to just kind of clean my storage out of anything that's sort of starting to turn bad that I can sell that I just can't seem to get rid of. It's a good opportunity to get rid of some fish. If you've been fishing, you can catch some fish that are actually worth a decent amount of money, and that might be able to help you. I've turned my branches into lumber and my stone into material stone as well. And then one more thing I'm going to do before we go, and I cannot believe that I forgot this, but we're able to actually cook the wild mushrooms that we've been seeing around into a dish to sell it for more money. And I just feel really stupid that I missed this because being able to make mushrooms into steamed mushrooms improves what you can sell it for dramatically. So I have been missing out on some potential cash by not doing that, and I missed passing that tip on to you folks. So that is better late than never, I suppose. So we're gonna bring that with us. And then I'll just kind of pick up anything else along the way. I don't actually know how much space I have in my rucksack right now, but I'll just pick up a couple things. Flowers are always good. I've been really busy on the farm. I did mention this before, but summer just really seems to take up my time doing farm work, so I definitely have not been as social as I was in the spring. The farm requires a little bit more of my attention. It's a lot of work to water and fertilize 108 squares every single day. However, I am still focusing on getting some of those butterflies out of my inventory. Speaking of, I will give Sherry a gift while I'm here, because why not? If I can find one for her, here we go. And I've been trying to get rid of the wild stuff that I forage as well, just so that I don't let it go to waste. And I might have time to give him a gift. Yes. Just in the nick of time, I can give Felix this lovely beetle, and then we will be off to the races. The bazaar is about to start. I am absolutely 100% certain that we will not be meeting the sales goal. But we will just do our best. We'll see what happens. So here we go. I actually have a really nice variety of items too. So we're gonna start off by putting our radishes out. Now you can see that we're getting $410 per radish, and if you consider the fact that a radish seed costs $200, if you subtract the cost of fertilizer, you're probably getting about a $10,000 gain. You're getting almost double what you paid for the seeds. So radishes are a great investment, and they really don't take that long to grow. So I will definitely keep growing them this season. This is also a great chance for me to get rid of those turnip salads. And then I just have some other odds and ends in here. You can see that the steamed mushrooms are worth a lot more, like I said, now that they're cooked. I won some curry bread for one of my placements, either in the top 3 or having the best customers at our last bazaar. And then finally, the apple pie was from participating in the tea festival, so you'll also have this if you're playing along with me. And that's a nice $1,000 that you can sell that for. And I definitely didn't have any time to do fishing, but if I did, I would have set out a couple of fish as well. I do like to kind of spice things up, just change things around. And it's really nice to see people buying some of my items in bulk just to be able to get rid of it. If I can sell all of my radishes, I will be pretty amazed. But even if I don't sell all of them and I only manage to sell a few, they should still maintain their freshness until the next bazaar. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna go ahead and put some more stuff out. I'm also gonna get rid of my tea cans because I don't think they're worth keeping. I can get them from the river, and come fall, we can actually start to grow our own tea. So it really feels nice to get rid of some of these items that I've been holding onto for a long time. But I have kind of been weighing my options when it comes to selling my items. I'm trying to be very, very careful. I want to make sure that if I'm selling an item, it's not going to come back to bite me later. If it's something that's rare and difficult to get my hands on, if it's something that I need for upgrading, so on and so forth. It's kind of a hard balance of keeping some stuff because it will be useful later and holding on to it and being a hoarder. Sometimes it's hard to sort of recognize where you're sitting in that regard. We're at $20,000 so far, just over $20,000, which I think is very respectable. We're not getting a lot of customer interaction in terms of questions. People don't really want to talk to us, they just want to buy stuff from us, which I feel that. I'm not really a small talk person when I go to the grocery store, you know, I'm not gonna tell the cashier my life story. Come on, people. Come and buy some radishes. You know that you want to eat some radishes. And shockingly, at this point, we only have 2 left. So that is actually really, really good, considering that we had over 50 of these things to sell. And I also have some beetles that are worth a decent amount of money. Now, if I was playing as a female farmer and I was trying to impress Dirk, I would be holding on to these for dear life and not letting them go, because they're probably one of the best gifts for him, and you can only get beetles in the summer. But I'm not so worried about his friendship playing as a male farmer. So I'm very happy actually sitting at $30,000, but I do still have a couple of things that I can sort of sell here, so we might as well just try and get rid of any kind of leftovers that we have that we might want to get rid of, just to clear out some space, and because we have lots of time. Beetles are also great for Felix, and I haven't really been able to give Felix a gift that he actually likes, because there wasn't really much for him in spring. So I will catch some beetles, I'll give some to Dirk, I'll give some to Felix, but I'm also not too worried about selling them and making a little bit of money. However, I'm pretty much at the end of what I want to sell. At some point, I probably will be able to let go of and sell some of these butterflies, because as you can see, I'm still hoarding them, and they're still taking up lots of inventory space. So we'll just try and get rid of this last piece of mint that's turning, and a few bugs, and then we will call it a day and go look at what new stuff we have at the bazaar now that it's summer. Come on, people. Some of you have to be interested in bugs. At least one person. You can also see that Dirk and Antoinette are shopping. So last month it was Ivan, and this month you'll be able to get Dirk and Antoinette to come and visit your store. So speaking of Dirk, let's go ahead and give him a beetle. And Antoinette, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to decrease her hearts so that I can see their rival event. So I'm actually in the process of giving her gifts that she hates, which feels really mean, and it will kind of put her heart level behind, but we'll be able to work it back up. So we'll stop at Chen's first, and you can see that for the summer season, he is going to have both pumpkins and corn available for us to grow. And I actually personally don't recommend either of them. I grew a little bit of everything on my practice file the first time I went through and I played this, and I just didn't find that it was worth it. The corn seeds are very expensive of an investment to sort of start out with. They're very slow to grow. Now, they are a replenishing crop, so once they mature, they'll come back every couple of days, but it takes almost half of the season for them to come in. So if we were to plant these today and we had perfect weather conditions all throughout summer, the earliest that these would come in would be the 15th day of summer, so halfway through, and then we can only really get corn for the other half of the season. We also can't cook with corn unless we're willing to buy some cooking utensils. Pumpkins, you only get to harvest them once, and again, they're the same amount of time, anywhere from 11 to 15 days. Pumpkins, at least, are a little bit less money to invest in, and they actually do sell for quite a bit of money, even if you decided that you weren't going to fertilize them at all and just leave them at a 1-star quality. But in the amount of time it takes for these to grow, I can turn over radishes twice. So I will probably just be sticking with radishes for now. Pumpkins as well, we can't cook with unless we're willing to buy utensils. So sorry, Chen, I'm just doing some window shopping today. Same with Sherry's store. Next month we will actually purchase something from Sherry, but as of right now, we are just going to continue growing crops and not focusing too much on trees. But if you are interested, she has a peach tree available. And at Raoul's store, he has tomatoes. He continues to hold out on me, and behind what is seemingly an impossible level of randomness that I just cannot seem to wrap my head around, he is hiding the best crop in the summer, which is going to be onions. So because he doesn't have onions, the only thing we can purchase from him are tomatoes. Now, if you want to do something a little bit different, other than just sticking with radishes or onions, you can grow tomatoes. They are another replenishing crop. They come in quite a bit quicker than corn or pumpkins. And once they mature, they'll give you tomatoes every couple of days. And you can turn the tomatoes into tomato salad for a little bit more money. I still think I'm going to not bother with tomatoes, but that is the one I would recommend if you're sort of interested in trying out a replenishing crop. Because at least you can turn it into salads and get a little bit more money. On their own, when I planted tomatoes on my own, the first yield that I got, I broke even, which was really disappointing. So unfortunately, Raoul does not sell onions, but if he does, I would recommend replacing radishes with onions if you're able to. If you have the money on you, buy as many onions as you can and plant those and grow those instead of radishes. Even if you don't put any fertilizer on onions whatsoever and you just grow them, they are automatically worth double what you paid for. And the kicker is you can then turn those onions into onion salad and make even more money. They only take a week to grow, so my hope is that Raoul stops hiding his inventory and we're able to buy some onions at some point. I am talking to him, I'm befriending him, I have done so much save scumming, saving, reloading. I really don't know what the trick is or if there is a trick, but I can only cross my fingers and hope at this point. So for now, I'm just going to continue on with radishes. And I have a very nice chunk of cash in my pocket. And I'll probably end up using about half of that on purchasing more seeds, which is okay. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and buy a cow from Enrique. At some point, I want to get one of every animal and probably some more chickens anyways, and this just seems like a really good time to do it because I kind of have an excess amount of money right now. So it's $6,000 to buy a baby cow. Remembering, of course, if you're gonna buy a cow, just like with any animal, they are an investment. It's gonna take a very, very long time before that cow makes us $6,000 worth of profit. But it's fun to add more animals, more variety, and despite the fact that I am spending a lot of time on the farm, taking care of the animals so far hasn't been too taxing. So that is it for me. Not leaving the bazaar completely empty-handed. And I'm gonna go right home and right to bed. I have played ahead of time already, where I've played the game properly. I've done all of my watering, my fertilizing. I've gotten my radishes restarted. So we're not gonna have to watch any of that today. And because this upcoming week just has absolutely nothing, there's just nothing on the calendar at all, I don't foresee myself really having a video for this week up until the next bazaar. So I figured it was a good idea just to come home right away. We can get the results of the bazaar. And Enrique can also deliver our cow to us. So just like with the chicken, he'll bring it to us the next day. He'll offer to give us the tutorial. Now, I'm gonna just let him kind of run through this anyways, just in case there's anything that I miss. But it's basically exactly the same as taking care of a chicken. But instead of being able to easily carry the chicken above our heads and throw it, we have to push the cow outside. One of my biggest pet peeves, I absolutely hate having to push animals outside. It's always such a pain. Fortunately, in this game, it's not as big of a pain as they could have made it. And in the future, we will get a bell. So we can let them outside when it's nice and they'll eat grass. And then when it's not nice, we can keep them inside and they will eat fodder. And it's the same as it was with chicken feed. They have their little trough that they'll eat food out of. And we can keep the fodder in our storage and it will dispense into this little dispenser for us. And we can buy fodder from Raul. So we need to make sure that they're kept dry, they're kept fed, they're kept comfy, we pet them, we love them, we cure them with animal medicine if they're sick. It's all the same, very straightforward. I can't remember the lifespan of a cow off the top of my head. And once this cow is grown up, they will give us milk as long as they're healthy and happy. And it takes a little shy of a month for a baby to mature into an adult. So I think we're looking around 24 days if I'm remembering correctly. So we definitely won't be able to get any milk for about a month. So we'll just have to make it a habit to take care of our cow and send it outside at the same time as our chicken. And Enrique is nice enough to give us a milker, and while I very much appreciate it because it's free, I almost wish that I had the option just to buy it later because it's just going to take up more inventory space. At this point, my inventory is just full of tools that I never use. I don't think I've ever actually used the sickle at this point, but I didn't really have a choice in the matter because I needed to get better tools. So I wish there was different storage for tools and for items. With that said and done, let's go and hear the results of the bazaar. I have a feeling that we will not be in the top 3, and I think we only had one person who talked to us, so we will most definitely not be getting into the top for customer service. $37.5. So even the third place person wasn't within the sales goal, and if that's third, we were not off by that much. So being here, there is not really any point in hearing the results today because we already know that we're not going to get anything out of it. Someone sold a lot of stuff. It was Lloyd. That makes sense if people are coming to buy lots of gems and jewelry from him. So I could have skipped the results, but you don't know if you don't come to hear it, and you also don't know if the bazaar is going to expand, so we are still apparently just slowly inching forward, which means that we will be in the 40 to 50,000 goal profit for quite some time still, until we get that next bazaar expansion. But the 40 to 50 seems okay. We seem to crush it most weeks. And I think next week our luck will change. I have an entire week of nothingness where I can just focus on the farm, and I will be growing lots of radishes. I was a wonderful turnip farmer in the spring, and hopefully in the summer I will be just as good of a radish farmer. So I am going to carry on. I'm going to just play through my week, and unless something comes up, I will be back for our next bazaar on the 11th day of summer. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.